Shalom, shalom, perfect peace be with you all on this blessed new day. How you all doing? I pray and trust all is well. So yes, I did a video yesterday and I posted it out on YouTube. So all praises to the Most High Yahweh for blessing me with a little spring in my step this morning. I am so grateful, so grateful for His mercy and His grace. Now, yesterday I posted a video and, I talked about being blessed. Blessed to know that I can kind of get out of our beds and we can function quite naturally. And that is obviously with His grace and His mercy. And I'm just wanting to kind of extend on that a little bit, because often I think many of us take it for granted that we're naturally going to wake up and we're naturally going to be able to function. And whilst it is true, there's an extension of grace that is there. Don't just don't take it for granted. You know, when you open your eyes, you just say, the first thing you should be saying is thank you. Hallelujah. And so like I say, it's just extending on the being blessed and having the ability to wake up and give thanks, because it's so important. I can't stress how important it is. You know, I've seen and heard many people each day losing people, and they're not making it. Someone today is not going to make it, but you've been blessed. You've made it. You made it another day. So that's where you should begin each and every day, just thanking Him, praising Him, loving Him. And yes, it is still very warm. We're in the peak of summer, and I'm still pushing through my walks, and I'm not even gonna lie. But you know what? I wanted to come on here today because something was just literally eating away at my mind last night. I just think it's something to do with, because obviously I'm at that age now where certain things that you forget, like simple things. I'm finding, how am I forgetting this? And went shopping yesterday with the little family, and whilst we were shopping I was thinking, saying to my husband, I was like, obviously we were talking about me doing my walks, and we're obviously also talking about the changes, the healthy changes, all that stuff, which we do often talk about as well. We do talk about, our diet, what we're eating. And I was obviously explaining to him, since getting back up and starting the walking again, it has given me a little bit of a zazazah. It's giving me a spring in my step, which is good. And in the little centre where we live, there's a little shopping centre where we live. So there's this place that does stretching. And I thought, we got in the car and I said, why don't you go and find out some information about that stretching place, so that you can, you can stretch your body and, strengthen your quads, strengthen your femurs, the areas that your hip has been causing you a problem. And he listened to me. I said, no, I'm so, I'm so stuck on my, no, I'm not doing any stretching, it's fine, the walk's fine. And you know, the thing is that that's where I had to stop in my tracks and say, do you know what, I have to listen, because whilst I walk and whilst I come on here, and it's great to do the walk and it's great to keep up with my stamina, you know, the mobility, it's just strengthening my heart to keep walking. Sometimes I'll increase the pace and it'll just, you know, allow me to be more strengthened. I do also have to think about, you know, the durability, the flexibility of my muscles and my joints. So my husband said, no, seriously, Jay, look, you know, what harm's it going to do? All you're doing is basically making sure that while you're doing the walks, you're actually as well being able to, your muscles are not going to be, see what I mean? Your muscles are going to be supple, which could probably improve your stamina more. And I was like, you know what, you're right. So I went and made an inquiry, and I'm going to have an appointment with an instructor, a one-to-one instructor, to see how that can work for me, taking it day by day. But when we were in the height of the conversation, it kind of dawned on me, since living in the UK, I have been a spin addict. Oh my gosh, it dawned on me, and I was trying to remember, I was trying to think, saying to my husband, Ian, I was like, Ian, do you remember, you know, why did I start spinning? Why did I get on to spinning? And he was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, there's a word. It increased my something. And for life, I couldn't remember what the word was. And I said, stability. And then he came out, stamina. I said, we've just spoken about stamina. I was like, I know. Yeah, that's the word. Listen, guys, stay with me. So yeah, stamina was the word. Stamina, you know. Stamina is a word that's strong, right? A word that kind of envelopes endurance, stamina. And it brought me to think about when our people were led out of Mitzrayim. Did you know that when the Most High walked with them as a pillar of cloud through the day and a fire of cloud by night, a pillar of fire by night, they did not, you know, they weren't falling sick. The sandals on their feet didn't wear down. They were given stamina to walk across that Red Sea into the wilderness for 40 old years. Yes, obviously some fell at the way because they were just completely disobedient. But stamina came to me in a way as, you know, we are all trying to make a difference in our lives. We're all trying to approach our destination. We're heading forward, but how we do it is how we listen. And this word, stamina, is all about endurance, which ties in to what I've been doing recently in terms of the taking more control over the eating habits, looking at being restored, my Project 73 restored. It's all kind of tying in, and it makes absolute sense, because whilst we can build, whilst we can chat on here and